it does make you feel like you are king of the road. I stole it.
How did it happen?
Hello everyone, my name is Chip and we're back at P&K Thornton Restorations, classic Jaguar specialist since 1967, and today we are going to take you through our latest restoration. It's 1963 built, December 1963 Jaguar E-Type, so one of the series ones, nearly at a cutoff with the 4.2 that we have restored over the last 2 years for its rightful custodian. The car was originally exported to the United States of America, where I think it was opalescent silver, originally in color. It later arrived back into the UK, where it was converted from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, and it also got a change in color, so it became British Racing Green. Now, as you can see, we took it all apart over the last 2 years. So we started in 2023, I believe, if I remember correctly, about autumn time, we started taking it all apart and inspecting what's good and what's not so good about it. A lot of it was really bad. The metalwork in particular took quite a substantial effort to get it to the standard that it is today, perfectly healthy and able to withstand another 30 odd years of driving. When we took it apart, we found some nasty surprises everywhere around the metalwork. Generally, we see this with American cars, or E-types that come from America, that they've been repaired over the years to a not so good standard. It's not what we would expect today. So I guess in the 80s and 90s, where the cars were not worth so much, if they've been in an accident or if they suffer with corrosion problems, which all of them did, it happened that they were repaired quickly using materials that were not matching the rest of the body. So improvised body panels, we found that over the years, where we find different random bits of steel welded onto the original monocoque of the E-Type. We found bits of newspapers stuffed into the seals or into the corners of the windscreen here. I guess for insulation purposes. Over the years, people thought, let's just add this bit in so it kind of absorbs moisture and the moisture doesn't go into the car, something like that anyway. But we found some really random bits as we take these cars apart. Obviously, this one was one of those that we found some nasty surprises in. So the body was dipped for paint removal, and once it came back, shock and horror, there wasn't much left. We did have to get the dustpan and brush to absorb some of the rust that was under the car. So, but the boys in the metal shop, soldier on. Daz and Rob did a fantastic job. We used all our knowledge to put E-types together, like we've done for so many years. I think we're into over 200 E-types that we've restored in full over the 6 decades of existence for our companies. We hold a massive archive of all the cars we ever restored, and this is one of them. This is our latest one that we restored, and this was restored with a lot of input from the owner. We had to modify a few things to his liking, so it's not a perfectly standard car. It's not a concours restoration. We had to take a lot of input from the owner. The owner intends to drive it over long distances in Europe, into France, into Italy, Switzerland, so a lot of long distance rallying. The car has done those events before, but before we started digging into it, it was extremely tired and basically falling apart. And here we are now after 2 years. We gave it a new lease of life, and we're looking to get it back out on the road onto those type of rallies and long distance events. So we had to make a lot of upgrades to the cooling system, to the electrical system, to the engine. Now it's boosting a fast road engine that we carefully run in. We bedded in on our dyno, and we're looking to have onto this long distance rallies in the future. It sounds really good. So a few modifications that we've done to the interior, like the aluminum panels. This is a very nice feature from the early cars that we've added onto our December 1963 build, because the owner of it requested it and liked it. So it suffered a color change. It went from the previous Bridge Racing green to indigo blue with a blue interior. So it looks really nice. It's a color combination that was seen on the later cars, more like on the Series 2 cars. But it works really, really well on this Series 1, making it unique. So a few modifications here and there. Is fitted with a 5-speed gearbox now. Again, thinking that is going to drive onto the roads on the continent. We thought it's better to fit it with a 5-speed gearbox. It still keeps some of the original features, like the mirror. The mirror is a nice touch to use the original one. You can still see some of the marks on the glass. They kind of just reminds you now and then that we have kept quite a lot of the original items that we managed to recondition, while in some places we were unable to do so, and it was more economical to fit modern items or new items in places. So I am going to take you now through the engine bay, and we are going to have a chat with Daz, our chief panel beater, about the metalwork. But next, let's talk a little bit about the engine bay and what's happening under the hood. We are now under the hood of the Jaguar E-Type 3.8, where, as you can see, everything is shiny and gleaming as you'd expect after a 2 years restoration. The engine has been rebuilt to a fast road spec, and is producing very respectable amount of power now and torque. We took everything one by one, like the carburettors have been taken apart and rebuilt. The braking system has been upgraded to some large front brake calipers that carry our nice P&K Thornton branding. Alternator has been looked at and upgraded to a more modern version. We are using electronic ignition, timing 1, 2, 3, with the leads tidy and the HT leads. More modern distributor. Starter motor has also been looked at and improved. Wiper motor has also been taken care of. All the braking system has been meticulously put together using the original system, but improved where we could. All the items under the bonnet have been coated. It's more like a zinc coat that is specific to us, and it's not for a standard car, it's not for the purist, but it does make the engine bay stand out and look good. As you will see, this kind of gray color in places, it's almost like a powder coating, but it's eco-friendly. So it's a green system that we've used lately to make our vehicle stand out. Electric fan with electric cutoff, so a Ken Low system. More modern coil and cooling system, a larger header tank, and the list goes on and on. All the attention to detail, I think it's phenomenal, and I like to see one of these E-Types coming together. Yeah. Starts first time, 5-speed gearbox. It's warming up nicely, great oil pressure, water temperature is just picking up, and a great benefit is that we have a full tank of fuel, so we can go really far. I stole it.
Hold it up.
There we go. Obviously not warm enough, but here we go. So drive, how does it feel like? It really brings you back to the 1960s. The thin steering wheel, the wooden steering wheel. I found it very precise and very easy to balance. It's easy to drive fast or slow into traffic. The 5-speed gearbox makes a big difference onto the motorway or a long distance cruising where the revs drop on the motorway, so you can comfortably speak to the passenger or listen to music or whatever else you want to do in it. One feature that I love about this car is the way that the pedals are positioned that allow for a spirited drive, and even more than that, you would be able to heel and toe. That was all right. It's very powerful, so it can be very fast in acceleration, but at the same time the skinny tires really bring you back to driving a 1960s car. The brakes are really good with our upgraded system on the front and on the rear, so making the almost 1.4 ton stop with ease. Gear changes are very smooth. And generally very, very comfortable place to be. It does make you feel like you are king of the road driving this particular E-Type. Everything works really well, everything is tight, as you'd expect after a 2 years restoration. There are no clunks or knocks. It accelerates very, very well out the corners or a junction. Gearbox is very smooth. Can't really complain. I think the guys have done a phenomenal job on it. It looks good and it feels really good. With our little test drive now complete, after each one of our restorations, we aim to do about 500 miles of testing in different conditions. I am going to take you around to our metal shop, where we're going to have a quick chat with Daz, and he's going to tell you a bit more about the metalwork on this particular E-Type.
Hi, I'm Daz. Just talk about some of the metalwork we've done on this car. It's been a very long restoration process, and we'll just talk through some of the things that we done on the car and some of the challenges we came across. As you can see now that it's fully restored, it looks fantastic, but some of the car did not start out this way. As you can see, the bulkhead panel, I talked about in a couple earlier videos when we were doing this car. We removed the bulkhead panel on this car just so we could access the inside of the car, where the heater channel is and things like that, because the problem with these cars, obviously water ingress and that and rust stay inside the panels that you can't have access to. So as a matter of fact, on all our cars we take this panel off, access the inside of the bulkhead, clean up all the rust, anything that can be done, and then fully treat the inside before we put the panel back on. And it's to future-proof the car, so we know we won't have to run into any of these problems again. Also on this car, the sill panels, which are on the other side, that run the entirety of the car, these are all been replaced on this car, as the floor and all the underpinnings. Pretty much the whole lower half of the car has been replaced. The other thing we do on the E-Type is with the sill panels, because they're a recreation panel of the original ones, the sharp edges on them aren't the same as they were originally, because the pressings and things like that are older, and they don't give you the same shape as the original cars. So we've made a jig that we put these sill panels on to chase the edges in a lot sharper, give a lot cleaner line, and it gives you the result, as you can see here now. The bonnet gaps and the door gaps are fantastic, and give you a nice look down the side of the car. You can see the back end of the car is looking fantastic with all its bright work on it. The thing with E-types is it's very difficult to get the gaps of the tailgate right. They're renowned for having wavy lines and different thickness gaps all the way around it, especially when you have to replace some of the panels. On this car we put a new back end on it. It had a new boot floor as well, and a lot of the apertures around the tailgate opening has been replaced with handmade panels to give you the gaps around the tailgate. This then gives you lots of problems of lining the tailgate back up again, but after many days of playing around with it, we've got it looking pretty good on the back of the car. So yeah, it's come out really well. Now you see it in paint. So on the back end you can see that like I said before, with all the bright work on it, looks fantastic, but a lot of work goes into lining up a back end of a car, because obviously when you're following one of these down the road, you want the back end to look true. You want all the bumpers to be equally spaced, you want the lights to be equally spaced, you want the number plate to sit in the middle of the aperture, and these are all things that are trial fitted when it's still in bare metal to make sure everything's perfect, because there's nothing worse than seeing a car that are bumpers to one side or the lights not lining up in the right way. So a lot of time and effort has gone in to make sure the car looks perfect when it came back after being painted. The bonnet on this E-Type was in very good condition. We basically just stripped it down, it got cleaned up. The only thing we did on it was put some new wing bottoms on, because they started to pit and were bubbling a little bit, so we put new pieces on both sides and rewire edged them to give us a nice gap to the sill.
Now that you got a glimpse of what we've put together here with our latest restoration, I hope you enjoyed it. We can certainly answer any questions that you might have about restoring a Series 1 E-Type. We'll be delighted to hear from you. We'll be very interested to hear about new projects that need restoration, either being complete E-Types like this one, or just the XKE engine or the back axle, or anything that we can help you with on a Jaguar E-Type. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on to a very new video very shortly. See you soon.